Hello everyone and welcome once again to Brandeo Collection. Today we're bringing you another Hot Toys figure preview, and it is the brand new announced Hot Toys figure Anakin Skywalker from Ahsoka the TV show. Now he's in his Clone Wars outfit here based on the flashbacks from that episode in Ahsoka. First off, I gotta say, first initial thoughts here, I do really like the head sculpt. It is causing a little bit of controversy across the Hot Toys communities I've seen this morning through seeing all people posting different memes talking about the facial expression and the head sculpt itself, but I do think it does look like a young Hayden Christensen, specifically his representation from the younger version of him in that Ahsoka episode that goes with the younger Ahsoka that Hot Toys announced about a month or so ago. But I do think it looks pretty good. And just like Hot Toys has been doing across the board on all their newly announced figures for the last probably year or two, is you have those moving eyes in the head sculpt, which adds an extra layer of realism, in my opinion, that I've mentioned a lot of times in my videos. I think that that's a fantastic direction that they decided to move in when it comes to creating these brand new head sculpts. Here we have some photos of the head sculpt that were posted by JC Hong on his personal Facebook page this morning to go along with Hot Toys' official photos on their page as well. And this gives you a little bit of a better view from the different angles of what this head sculpt looks like, at least from the prototype standpoint. We all know that once the official figure is released and they've created these in mass, some of the details on these head sculpts do get softened a bit in mass production. But Hot Toys is pretty consistent that the final product is looking at least similar enough to what the prototype photos come out to, especially in the most recent years. There has been times in the past that Hot Toys prototypes compared to final look significantly different in one way or the other, but I think this is a figure that should kind of stick to that quality across the board once we do get that final product. The facial expression on the head sculpt, I think, is the biggest piece of controversy across the community. I think that it's not everybody's cup of tea to have that little bit of a smirk, that little bit of personality there in the head sculpt. There are times when people absolutely love these over-the-top expressions, or more different than your stoic expressions that most Hot Toys figures have, but I think the kind of facial expression they put here is what's turning some people off from it, but it doesn't do that for me. I think it really represents the version of Anakin that's being represented here. This part of his life, the Clone Wars part, even though we have not really seen much of live action Clone Wars Anakin because the majority of Clone Wars Anakin is in animated form, I think this is a nice melding of the cartoon version with the Hayden Christensen live action version of this particular character. So I think it's really nice to have a Anakin figure that has a little bit of a smirk compared to being really serious or turning into that evil Darth Vader type of look. It's something that stands out a bit more than your typical Anakin / Darth Vader type of figure in your Hot Toys collection. Other than the figure itself, it does come with these really cool blaster effects that you can attach to the lightsaber, which I think is something that should be brought with other Jedi figures. I think it's really cool. Something that you may not use all the time, but it does add that extra layer of display options to make it a little more dynamic and action-packed, depending on how you want them displayed in your collection. Something really cool here is this shot where we have Anakin, Ahsoka, and Captain Rex around a table, the holo table, where they do kind of their going over the plan as they're going into battle. I'm not entirely sure where that holo table came from, if Hot Toys has plans to officially release the holo table at any time with any of these figures. This holotable does not come with the figure, it's just used for this specific shot, just to represent and show that these are 3 characters that Hot Toys is making and releasing very soon. But I really hope that Hot Toys actually does create this holotable with the holograms, releases it, whether it be part of another figure or maybe as its own kind of separate diorama piece. I think that'd be really cool to add to your Clone Wars display if you're somebody who focuses on the Clone Wars figures, whether that be Anakin, Ahsoka, Captain Rex, or any of these other ones that may be coming down the road that Hot Toys will eventually announce and release as part of this specific Star Wars line. Overall, I think it's really exciting to have more live-action Clone Wars action figures that you can add to your Star Wars collection. For a long time, the Clone Wars and the animated shows have not been really getting any love in the 1/6 scale format, but now as these characters and representations of these characters get brought more and more into the live action world, we're seeing more of these figures that we can add to the collection. So it's really, really great to see these representations finally being able to be added to a Hot Toys collection. We, of course, are getting a LED lightsaber that's powered by USB, like we've been getting the last few years on these Jedi or Sith figures that Hot Toys has been producing. We have your traditional sand base, but this time it doesn't have the footprints on it. For anybody who knows that Hot Toys has been really, really pumping out the exact same base for multiple figures across multiple different franchises, the exact same sand base that has footprints on it that sometimes doesn't always fit the character. So this one has your traditional sand base. We have a couple hands, we have those lightsaber deflecting effects, and it does come with 3 separate holograms of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Captain Rex, and Ahsoka. So once again, being able to represent the Clone Wars version of this particular character. But like I mentioned, I think the head sculpt looks really, really great. I'm interested to see what the final product's going to be once it is officially released, which probably going to take another year or two based on normal Hot Toys release schedules, but we'll keep an eye on that once it is officially released. Thank you so much for going through and taking a look at this brand new Anakin Skywalker figure that was just recently announced by Hot Toys. If you enjoyed our overview, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification to be notified when we post new content. And remember to share our content with anyone who you think might be interested in all things pop culture collectibles. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on collecting.